When people think of diets, they think keto, vegan, intermittent fasting. But what about all the amazing forgotten diets that nobody ever talks about? So let's go over them, starting with number 1, eating from a smaller plate. This falls under the category of portion control, but I know a lot of people who lost a ridiculous amount of weight by simply just reducing their plate size depending on how far they are into the deficit. So I've made a couple of videos here and there on this, and I get some comments saying that, oh, this doesn't work, bro, or like, oh, you can still eat junk food. But if you think about this logically, if you keep the same food in your diet but simply eat from a smaller plate, you will naturally reduce the amount of calories you're eating. If you switch the plate, as long as you don't just fill it up with junk food and keep the exact same foods that you've been eating forever, you will go in a deficit. Not only that, but this also helps you eat slower, enjoy the food more, and really mentally become full. When you eat from a bigger plate, you quickly cram down all of the food and don't even notice when you're satiated. So with this, you can eat slower, be more mindful, and get a tremendous subconscious calorie reduction. Number 2, no liquid calories. This one was mind-blowing for me. I remember knowing this one kid that I really hated when I was around 12 years old. He was 16, he was this big fat kid. We always used to bully him, but he used to beat us up as well. So there was a fair exchange, right? We would make fun of him for being fat, he would beat us up. I remember once I got more mature, I turned 15 years old and he grew into an adult. He lost a tremendous amount of weight. And I asked him, how did you lose the weight? He told me, I went from drinking 6 cans of soda per day to drinking no soda. Exhibit A. And this worked for me as well. But instead, I replaced all the sugary drinks with sparkling water or diet soda. Liquid calories are just way too palatable. They taste good and they don't fill you up at all. You can take down 1,000 calories worth of liquid and not even notice. Solid food is just far more satiating, so if you're trying to lose weight, opt for the solid food instead of drinking the calories. Whenever I'm working with someone that's trying to bulk up and put on a lot of mass, the so-called hard gainers, you prescribe them lots of shakes, lots of liquid calories, because this is a way to cram in a bunch of food without even realizing it. So if we take the opposite approach for weight loss, you simply avoid the liquid calories. And lastly, number 3, very similar to number 1, is use smaller utensils. I don't know how many calories I've saved by simply eating with a smaller fork or a smaller spoon. And my fat ass does this even when I'm bulking, because being a fat kid at heart, I will gain too much weight if I don't utilize these diet hacks. So this is one I do almost all of the time. It's simply another form of portion control, and I just tend to eat slower and I tend to enjoy the food more. And once again, the slower I eat, the more time I have to signal to my brain that I am satiated. Because look, if I'm eating with a big fork or like a big spoon, I'm gonna gulp down all the food and I'm not gonna even realize that I am full. So a great way to do this is force myself to eat slower. There's some crazy tips out there. Like some people will say eat with chopsticks if you're not good at eating with chopsticks. I'm not gonna go that far, but I am gonna opt for smaller utensils because it has helped me out in the past a lot. If you want to fast track your fat loss, press the first link in the description and join our free Skool group. I recently made a fat loss masterclass course that most people would charge hundreds of dollars for, but I'm giving it away completely for free. I am gonna make this community paid, so if you join now, you'll get everything for free for the rest of your life as an early adopter gift. If I give you anything of value, please consider subscribing and don't forget to stay savvy with your diet.